Welcome to our Willow Creek Estate project. I think you're going to love it. This was a project that we designed from the ground up. We worked with Hart Howerton on the architecture and Big Canyon did the construction. With Park City as our backdrop, we leaned into those natural organic materials. Then we have brought a sense of romanticism to the furniture design. And I think it's clear that we really got to know our client, and that is because this is our third home project together. We'll start off in the great room, and the intent in this great room space was to have an impressive hangout area that also felt cozy at the same time. So we have a living, a kitchen, and a dining nook, and a vaulted ceiling that connects the spaces together. On that vaulted ceiling, we did a stained tongue and groove and beam detail, and that stain carries into the doors, on the cabinets, many of the openings throughout the home for some continuity. Then we grounded the whole living room with this massive fireplace that goes to the ceiling. Our client loves that rustic style of Park City, but with a lot of femininity infused. And that is what adds a traditional flair to architecture that feels a bit more modern. With the two big openings, we ended up with 3 niches along this wall. So we wanted to treat each one a little differently. So in the kitchen, the main feature here is the hood. I wanted the scale of this hood to be in line with what the fireplace was on the other side of the room. It's all plaster, and then it has this really great trim detail. This is Taj Mahal in a leathered finish on the countertops. A great option for a natural stone that has a warmth to it that is very durable as well. We had to do large pendants. I wanted the scale of these to be stately and grand. We did antique brass hardware. I think it was very fitting for the Park City landscape, and it pairs really well with the oil rubbed bronze. If you're doing niches and you want to take them to the next level, I would definitely say to add marble or some sort of stone shelving and surround. We decided to do custom doors that open up to a coffee bar. Oh, I just got a whiff of that coffee smell. It's styled, but also functional at the same time. The doors on this side match the pantry doors on the other side that lead into the green painted pantry. Then over here in this kitchen nook, one thing I love that we did here in styling is that instead of doing rectangular pillows, that would be the more obvious choice, we did custom round bolsters all the way across, and then we carried that fabric onto the seat cushions. The color scheme in this great room space was a lot of soft neutrals, and that allowed us to do a color in the pantry. It's natural, but it's still a color that catches your attention when these doors are open. I always love in a kitchen or pantry if I can squeeze in a vintage piece of artwork. Also, if you look really closely, you'll see that the outlets are painted to integrate into the tile, so it's seamless. From the pantry, we'll continue down this hallway to the wine room and the dining room. The wine room and the dining room are across from each other, and they both have these rich colors. This is one of the most beautiful spaces I think we've ever designed, thanks to this Merlot color on the walls. And I'm so glad that when we presented this bold, rich color to our client, she was all in. We did a bridge between a wine room and a library space. We closed off cabinetry on the fireplace wall, and then opposite of that, we did open shelving. The other bold move that we weren't sure our client would go for is the Calcutta Viola marble. So it has this plum kind of purple tone that runs throughout the veining, and it ties in the paint color so beautifully, and it is art itself. We did herringbone floors in this room with a brass trim detail that runs around the edge of the room. We did this slim angled detail on the cabinets, and they have this stripe effect that runs through them. I also want to point out this detail here. We did a steel trim piece that has rivets all around it. It's like those little things that make all the difference. So across from the wine room is the formal dining room. And we wanted both of those spaces to be dark, but not the exact same color. So we had this Merlot tone here and opted for this really dark navy color. It's so dark that it's almost black, but not quite. And I think that when you paint a room really dark and you have natural light, it is one of the most beautiful effects. If you look really closely, you'll see that we designed the tongue and groove on the walls to not just be the same size plank everywhere. We alternated the plank size. So we go from wide to narrow. We did a huge dining table, and then this chandelier is almost 8 feet long, and then one large antique buffet with this glass front. And I love that you can hide things away on the bottom and then style china up top. And it's adding a lot to this space because we have a lot of windows and not a lot of room for styling until the surprise that I'm about to show you. And we reveal the Merlot color that's in the wine room on the inside of these built-ins. And when you stand in here and you look to the wine room, you see that continuity, that connection between the paint colors, and it is such a thoughtful and stunning effect. And I love the color blocking of the dark navy and the Merlot together. We're heading to the primary wing of the home, but before we get there, we'll walk through this incredible breezeway. It has floor to ceiling windows and there's a natural spring on the property. So when we were designing this home, the entire home layout and architecture revolved around allowing this natural spring to run under this breezeway. And then it takes you to the mudroom and the laundry room area. And I love that you're getting a few spots of these jewel tone moments throughout the home. We did a dark charcoal color on all of the cabinetry, the walls, and the ceiling, and it is a vibe in here. It kind of just transports you. I feel like I'm ready to take my wellies off after, walking around outside. And then we did these boot trays that come out on rollers, this really pretty cutout in the corner of the cabinet design. It is those little things that is why I love to design. Connected to the mudroom is the laundry room, and it is light and airy. And I love that the way we connected the two spaces is actually through the hardware finish to bring them together. Walking into the primary suite, there are actually 2 vestibule experiences. So we decided to do wallpaper in this entire entry space to the primary. This is really an addition to the closet space. And then we'll keep going, and I love how serene this bedroom feels. We carried the same fireplace stone from the living room and the exterior of the home into this bedroom. We did a cast stone, and it has a more traditional profile, which I think just dresses up the look. In this room, the idea was soft linens, not pops of color. We did our striped Scaletta bench, which I use in almost every single project. It just always works. We did a throw at the foot of the bed with this velvet trim, which I love. And then in addition to table lamps, I will also do sconces. So I have this look in my own home. It helps fill the wall space, but it's also really functional as a reading light. To finish off the space, we did a desk facing the window. We had a little bit of extra room, and instead of doing additional seating, our client wanted to utilize the space as a writing desk. In this space, we did a dark gray, large format limestone floor, and then a Calcutta marble baseboard around the room, which is a very luxe detail. And then we tied that marble in a few places, and then did a statement piece on the hardware. One way that we added some softness to the modern architecture in this home is by the lighting choices. Over in the shower, we did soft glazed tile, and there's gray stone on the main floor and the stain on the vanity, and All of that comes together with the natural variation of the floors in this shower. He thought the primary suite was ending at the shower, but there's one more thing, and that is a sauna integrated into the primary suite. So we've toured the primary wing of the home, and now we're going to go all the way to the other side and see all the kids' spaces. The first stop is the kids' lounge. There's a huge sectional. We did a striped upholstery fabric, and I love that you're getting the pattern, but it's also an indoor-outdoor fabric, so it's super durable. We did a pool table, and it's just a fun hangout space for the kids. Past the kids' lounge, there are 2 boys' bedrooms, and then we go upstairs and there's one more girls' bedroom and a guest suite. That wraps up our Willow Creek Estate tour. There's lots to love about this home. You can go to studiomcgee.com to see all of the photos and take a deeper dive into the tour.